everybody. What's going on? Thanks for joining us for another episode of our podcast. I'm pretty sure it's the OverMark Podcast. I could be wrong. I'm from day to day. I'm not really sure what's going on. I don't know if Dave is either.
I have no idea. I think we're in the 70s,
Yeah.
episode 76. We've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We started off with like 3 hour episodes, and then we were doing it like 4 times a week, and then we went down to like three, then two. Now here we are at one. But it feels like a
Yep.
good little balance because maybe if there was more good stuff for us to talk about, we do it more, and maybe who knows? But this is good for now. Listen here,
I agree.
listen here, you animals.
Yeah. And we're a day late getting this episode out
Who
to
cares?
everybody. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. That's my fault. I had like some kind of allergic reaction and my eye was all swelled up and I looked like the hunchback of Notre Dame. So I was self-conscious and didn't want to appear on camera. You know, it is what it is. But thanks everybody and thank you to TJ for being understanding and we're here and get used to it.
So we kind of like skipped over, so we got like an 8 day thing since we've done this last. Normally it'd just be a week, but like, so kind of it's funny. Andrade popped up in AEW last week, which I think is kind of funny because he wasn't used very well the first time. He was used there better,
No,
feel like, than he was in WWE. But
definitely.
I mean, at least he's going to be able to work independence and in Mexico and everything, I guess, and get paid by AEW. But you put him in the Don Callis family right away, which I don't. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. It's probably bad, but that tells you the plans that they have for him. They just had that Jake something guy debut, and they tossed him um, into the Don Callis family right away. And the funniest part about that is he's just in some four-way tag team match on Dynamite next week, or maybe it's Collision. I don't know, for a future title shot. And it's like, I'm sure it'll be a great match, but you're doing the same thing you did with Josh Alexander, and you're putting a guy in a situation with a whole bunch of great talent that he's not going to be able to stand out as. And they're all doing the same shit, so why would his look any better?
Exactly. And
you know?
I mean, well, the him turning up here definitely rang some bells for me in terms of WWE letting him out of his 12-month no compete. For folks that are let go, it sounds like to me that they didn't want that to be challenged in court because it most assuredly was going to, because
Yeah.
once it gets struck down in court for one guy, that means it's 86 for everybody. So they probably were just like, we're going to cut our losses here and let you out of your no compete. I mean, that's my best assessment of what went on there.
Yeah, and it's funny, like, well, yeah, we're talking about AEW, so we'll stick there for a second too. But they had MJF and Bandito do the little like in-ring thing or whatever, and Bandito got the best of them, and it wasn't bad. And they had Bandito do like one sentence of English where he said that he spoke English. But those are the only things I really remember on that show sticking out to me. You didn't even watch it, did you?
Nope.
I don't blame
I
you.
did catch the highlights, and I know we're a wrestling show, and traditionally we have watched all of the WWE and all of the AEW shows, but watching so much of that shit per week kind of became self-harm inducing. So we had to scale back somewhere. So I try to catch Dynamite as much as I can.
Well,
I
one,
at least make sure that I look at the highlights, but man, I skip the shit out of Collision every time now.
well, there's more people not watching the show than there is compared to the peak now, right? They've lost like over half their viewership. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not
you could.
trying to be an asshole there. I'm just saying you're not the only person that seems to have tuned out. Cora ran into a guy that had a Brody King shirt on at her work the other day at U-Haul, and
No,
she like brought it up, and he seemed surprised, and then she said, "Yeah, I watch wrestling like multiple times a week," and he was like, "Oh, I'm more of a pay-per-view guy." So those guys that do watch only pay-per-views do exist out there that we were talking about.
that's weird. But I understand because a lot of the weekly episodes can become kind of filler and not necessarily the most engaging thing to watch when compared to the pay-per-views. And if you're an in-ring guy, the pay-per-views are always going to be a better watch than a weekly episodic wrestling television show.
Yeah, and it's funny because this will drift over into the conversation that we're going to be talking about as our main topic. I'm not ready to go there yet, but how people say like, "Oh, this is a pay-per-view quality Dynamite or Collision," and they're basing that just off matches, right? So that tells you that really the only thing that necessarily a lot of their fans care about is the match quality. We'll drift into that more in a second. We kind of got into the wrestling talk a little bit early, and we're still not done the, the weekly wrestling talk. Well, I mean, why don't you jump us into probably the biggest thing that happened to wrestling over the week, last week?
Well, we did have the Punk and Breaker match, which was, I thought, pretty good. It wasn't the greatest match of all time. We did see a handful of some not so great things. Braun botched that Frankensteiner and landed on his head, and then Punk botched a suicide dive to the outside and landed on his face.
Yep, that did happen.
I'd really like to see neither one of these guys get hurt. There was some controversy about Punk wrestling in a t-shirt the week before. Our good buddy Kevin Nash, who we love and respect a lot, was kind of going in on Punk, making fun of him for wrestling with a shirt on. And turns out that the reason that Punk was wrestling with a shirt on was he had gotten a fresh paw print tattoo about here on his chest. And, I don't know if you guys have ever gotten tattoos or not. I haven't, but I've been around people with tattoos my whole life. And, you got to protect that thing when it's fresh and new. Usually they've got like a gauze over it and your shirt, so everybody that's out there being critical of him wearing a shirt for one Raw, he had a tattoo he was protecting. Who gives a shit? Move on.
Well, I think a lot of people already guessed that too. I know you're one of them. Before you saw the tattoo, it was kind of obvious because he's in the best shape of his life, wrestling career wise.
Yeah.
He may not
I don't know what
physically in the best shape, but like looks wise, he looks better than he used to. He used to look like shit.
Yeah. I don't know what Nash's deal with he's had a hard on for Punk a little bit lately.
You got to find a topic and find somebody that brings the clicks, and you got to jump on. I mean, remember that CM Punk during the whole brawl out thing. Both times the CM Punk shit happened in AEW, he made them more money than they probably made in the past fucking 20 years.
Yeah,
because they had the most clicks they seen, and they seemed to be getting a lot of scoops. But yeah, what I was gonna say is Cody losing the championship Friday was probably, I feel like, the biggest thing that happened in wrestling over the week. And
it definitely was.
Internally, apparently Cody and Drew were pushing for it, and a whole bunch of other people in the back. Like I told you, I don't think this is going to be the longest run in the world. I feel like they'll probably have Sammy end up being the guy to knock him off. If it doesn't happen at the Rumble, it'll get delayed. Then it'll happen at Mania. But usually the WWE title's the one with the biggest feud wrapped around it. So it's kind of confusing that they take this thing and do that with it now. But I mean, they could completely swerve us and just have Drew lose to Roman Reigns or something like a month before WrestleMania. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. Well, they have 4 months to figure it out and story tell us. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, they're really going heavy with the commercials already. Triple H is all over the commercials more than anybody else. That will change hopefully the closer we get to the show. But anyways, unless you got anything to talk about wrestling for the last week.
Oh, you were saying that the Triple H's reign of terror didn't actually end when he retired from in-ring. He's still hogging the spotlight in the commercials and shit.
They want him to hog the spotlight. He's a bigger star than anybody in the ring right now. Maybe besides Punk and Reigns. So
that's fair. That's fair.
He's the figure. We've gone over that. He's the Dana White of WWE, but he's still passionate about WWE. Dana White checked out like fucking 3 years ago, maybe 4. I feel like they definitely need a new guy at the helm, but he just signed like another 7-year deal, so Dana White's not going anywhere. He's going to be getting some of that cushy money. We'll be talking about MMA a little bit later. We're not going to go too far in depth, but I figured since it's been it'll be over a month or around that till the last card, and this is the first pay-per-view of the year, and the Paramount Hour, we're going to go over a little bit of shit and discuss.
That's this weekend, right?
No, that'll be next weekend.
Okay.
This is the preview. Next week will be like the I'm not going to go into the shit I don't want to talk about, but I'm unpreparedly going to just jump through the fights that I want to talk about next week. This week, I'm just going to kind of highlight more stuff wrapped around the event and all that.
Okay. That's cool.
All right, Dave. So go ahead and show us that fancy jacket you got.
All right.
Hell yeah. Bret the Hitman Hart there. Official Hart Foundation merchandise. Is that WWF or is that like that officially merchandise by them, or is that somebody else that they go through?
This was a chalk line. Everybody knows chalk line now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
This was 50% off over the summer. They were clearing them out because I guess they didn't sell a lot of them because it's a leather jacket
in the summer,
right? But I specifically have wanted this jacket since 1997.
Yeah.
So I saw that it was on sale for 50% off and immediately jumped on it. I was like, I gotta have it. I don't care if I get to wear it once, and this is the only time that I've worn it outside of trying it on.
Or whatever.
It also has a cool little pocket on the inside here that you can put your stuff and things. I don't know what I'd put in there, but something that I didn't want anybody to rip off. I was surprised at the quality.
It's nice.
It's got like really rugged zippers, a lot of pockets. And it's as close to the 1997 Bret Hart Foundation jacket that I've ever seen outside of like the one that he physically wears.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a mark, but whatever. Everybody loves Bret Hart and they should.
Yeah, I got the signed belt up here. Bret Hart.
Yeah.
We're both big Bret Hart fans. Everybody hates on him because he's all negative and shit. But if the profession that you were in turned into and had the people that were associated in it these days, you might feel the same way.
Yeah. And, one of these days when old Bret gets down to Florida again at one of the cons, I'm going to definitely get him to sign the jacket. That'd be awesome.
What do you do with that? Put a pocket, like some kind of plastic shit over, or like clear over it after that, or?
I think you get like a shadow box, like a lot of what people do with like signed jerseys and things of that nature. I mean, I want to wear this thing, so I don't know. I mean, after it's signed, you kind of gotta not wear it anymore, I guess. But I don't know. I'd still bust it out at some point. And didn't you also get some pretty cool new things there recently?
Yeah, hold on. I'm taking the headset off. So I got two of the Ric Flair's AEW luminaries, the one out of 5,000, and then the other one that's just a normal one. But I actually like the normal one more. But hold on.
Hell yeah. He got both of them. He got a really good deal on them. And these AEW action figures.
So I got them
really
side by
good.
side here, and I'm gonna pull up the non-special one first. So this is the pink robe. This is the one that I like the most. I feel like it just has a little bit more flair to it. No pun intended. Yeah, these figures look fucking. I keep bumping my mic. Damn, I just keep hitting it. I apologize, guys. Man, there we go. Here's the other one. Got Ric Flair on it. 1 out of 5,000 AEW luminaries. I like this robe a lot too, but the pink one just a little bit nicer looking. But overall, it's awesome. And if you look on this one, it's got little space, like planets and stuff. And what do you think the specialness of the space part's about, huh?
Space Mountain.
It's actually let me look at this real quick. I think it's.
And everybody knows what he's talking about when he refers to Space Mountain.
Yeah, Space Mountain, brother.
You can't be first, but you can be next. Those action figures are really cool.
All right, hold on. I'm coming back. I got Rick's put up.
Hell yeah. Like we were saying before to each other, their action figures are on par with the WWE's. They do a fantastic job with their toy line. I can't say enough good things about the AEW action figures and the work that they do on them.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of them. You can't see you see some of them that I got on here, but I actually have all the really nice ones, the like big boxes and like the signed Sting ones where my hand's at when you'll see it on the screen. But yeah, I got like 1, 2, 3, 4 of the Supremes, and I actually want to get Will Ospreay's at some point too. But I like to get them when they go down in money. I don't want to spend $40 on this shit. Like, why? Come on.
Yeah, They are a little high, and I do see that you get out there and you like snipe some deals. He does the thing, and he gets some pretty good deals on these action figures from time to time. When I go to the store, I call me a child, but I always hit the toy aisle
So
and
do
check
we.
the WWE and
Yeah.
AEW stuff just to see what they've got. Even if I'm not going to buy anything, which most of the time I'm not. It's just you never know if that right thing is going to catch your eye.
Yes. Every once in a while we go down the aisles and they got the deals on it, and that's when we grab it. The
Yep.
John Moxley one, we got that like $20 off. It's normally 40. We got it for like 20. There's a couple like the Kenny Omega one that I got.
Yeah.
It's one of these. I got him like $8, whatever. It
Nice.
happens sometimes.
Yeah. I also, when I go down the toy aisle, I check the Power Ranger stuff. I'm sure that you might have saw this, you might not have. I know I talked to Brandon heavily about this, and him and I were both really geeked. They had come out with a new line of Power Rangers toys, and some of them are like re-releases of toys from when we were kids. So, like, remember the ones where they had the little switch on
Yeah.
the back, and it would change their heads from the
Yeah,
masked
how
head
couldn't
to
you
the
remember
unmasked head?
that? Yeah.
They re-released those.
Why
They
wouldn't they?
came out with the Power Morphers. Mastodon, Pterodon. It says the noise, it makes the sound. It comes with the different power coins for each of the Rangers. So when you put it in there, it makes the different noises corresponding to which coin you're using.
Oh, that's awesome.
And later, it hasn't come out yet, but soon to be released. I think it's the first quarter of this year, actually. So we should see it really soon. Is the Green Ranger coin. And the Green Ranger coin is going to come with the Dragon Dagger,
Yeah.
So I definitely want to get that.
Yeah, they know who they're selling that stuff to.
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise to people that know me or have been around that the Green Ranger is my favorite one of all time. I mean, when he was fighting all the Power Rangers, his hands were rated E for everybody. He was whipping all of their asses at the same time.
What about the
Yeah.
White Ranger, huh?
Well, it's same dude.
Yeah.
There's just something about that Green Ranger outfit is I don't know why. To me, it is the pinnacle of Power Ranger coolness. I don't know how else to quantify it. Because like green's not really my favorite color. Black is. So do with that what you will. But I don't know.
Well, sorry, 1 second. But how they had what's it called? What am I trying to say here? The Megazords. Those were the coolest out of all of them.
They re-released those as well. I forgot to bring that up. They sell the individual Zords, or you can buy a package that's all of them. And you can, obviously, even if you buy them individually, you can assemble them into the Megazord, and that's already out. And then the other thing that's supposed to come out this year, I don't know if it's going to be the quarter one or not, is they're coming out with the Dragon Zord. And the cool thing about that they showed on their website is that comes apart and can attach onto the Megazord like they did in the show as well. So like they're all fully, like interactable and shit. It's really cool.
Everybody had that friend that had all of them and they connected together.
Yeah.
I had a friend that had like the first 2 sets of the Megazords.
Damn.
Yeah, there were some money these days. They're all in pretty terrible shape. If you were to have those in the boxes, excuse me, you would have a pretty good little chunk of change there. I don't know how much, but I imagine it'd probably be over $10,000. I'm just wild guess. But yeah, one thing I do want to say at this point, if you made it, we've had a little bit of technical difficulties. This has been a funny podcast to try to get started.
Yeah, we spent about 20 minutes prior to the show trying to normalize my volume because for some reason my volume was super loud and no settings had been changed or on any of our machines. So we had to figure out that, which involved changing settings, restarting the computer, changing the settings back to what they were originally, and then for some reason the shit worked. And then we had some lag. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually funny. You'll see me on the recording crawling out the window. I'm obviously going to edit that out, but I might make a little like...
Maybe we'll, when you edit the you climbing out of the window part, we'll just turn that into like a little 20-second short or something, and we'll just upload it as a short that, has no real purpose, but the people can see TJ climbing in and out the window just as we talked about. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Yeah,
that's a funny thing.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, it's overall, it's It's been a pretty good week. I got I told you I got like I think you heard me talking to Brandon. It's like 2 and then 4 high cubes. It's not, they're all attached. I mean, it's like a shelf, but it's supposed to stand up tall, but I have it on its side. So it's 2 rows tall and then 4 wide. And my PC's sitting on top of it now. Now I got more room to shove my stuff into because I keep running out of room because I just keep buying more shit. So this will be good. I got the PS3 besides the PC up there, and then I got the MetaQuest, which I haven't had anywhere to put that thing. So now I got a place to put my VR headset, and
That's awesome.
yeah, I put my my DAC and amp on under the PC on it too. So it's nice. Got a place for the headphones now, which is pretty good. $1,800 pair of headphones. You figure you want a designated spot for that shit, and I now have accomplished that goal with a $60 hair purchase.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
There was something else that happened. Oh, I bought a guitar. I had sold off most of my music equipment about a year and a half ago. Chaboy needed some extra money and he wasn't doing anything with it. So, you look at what's laying around that you can get rid of. And so, I had to sacrifice that. And Zounds, ZZONUNDS.com had a white Epiphone Les Paul custom, left-handed, which are very rare. Pretty much if you're left-handed, the only color you're getting for your guitar is black. So they had a really good clearance sale on it because they had a few models from like 2023, 2024, and that's actually going to be here tomorrow. And maybe because they have to sit for at least 24 hours before you unbox them because of being shipped from different climates and things of that nature. You want them to acclimate to their new climate before you open the box, to prevent like checking or weird things happening to the finish. And these are made out of wood, so you want to do all the things you can.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll save that for next episode and we'll do an unboxing, or I'll video the unboxing and we'll throw it on the channel. Who knows? Maybe not. People like unboxings. Who knows?
Well, it's funny. I was sitting at work, and that's when I kind of messaged this morning. I was like going over like some podcast stuff with the old AI, and Dad showed up, and we had a great day at work, and we kind of wrapped up at that trailer that we were at. The guy's going to be moving in Friday, so we moved somebody in one, and then moved somebody. So we got 2 people moved in to do 2 different trailers over the past couple weeks, and I've learned a lot and don't want to do it anymore, but I'm sure I'll do plenty of it. But yeah, that being said, that's pretty much my week. Nika, my stepdaughter, got sick on Friday, so she came and stayed with us over the weekend, even though normally it's her weekend to stay with her dad. But yeah, she stayed and I watched her Saturday. She wasn't feeling good, so she just laid in the other room, watched her show the whole time. But it worked out good. I think she likes it at our house more. We got core shit, better TVs.
Oh, yeah.
More.
That's always a big one.
Yeah, if I had these TVs when I was a kid, I'd have fucking gone nuts. But anyways, speaking of last week, I think we had an idea last week of something that we're going to be working on.
Excuse me.
Oh, you're good. But yeah, we got an idea of something that we're going to be announcing to the fans right now.
Yeah, we teased this on our social media. Here it is. I'm going to let TJ announce it while I sneeze again.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we decided that we're going to work on the OverMark Greatest Tag Team of All Time tournament. So, we're going to set some ground rules here, and we might even be coming up with some of them as we talk to you right now. So, this is going to be each of these tag team at their peaks, picked by a hand through time and grabbing them and putting them into this fictional tournament, right? So it's them at their peaks. We'll describe that, I guess, when the first time they come through or whatever. But and it's just going to be an elimination tag team tournament. None of this C2 G2 bullshit. You lose once, you're out. It's me and Dave. This isn't who we think is the best tag team tournament. We want to book, this isn't who we think is the best tag team of all time, right? This is who this is the way that we would book the outcome of this tournament, is what we're saying, and what we feel like the most entertaining and logical outcome would be.
So a little bit of fantasy booking essentially is what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And I know some people might kind of scoff at that, and then there are other people, that are be like, oh, that's awesome. People are into fantasy football, they're into, fantasy booking, different kinds of things like that. So, it was just a cool idea that TJ came up with for us to give a try. So we're gonna give it a try, and I think it's gonna be really cool. But what do I know?
People always say stuff when you got criticisms for WWE or AEW. They're like, oh, book your own show. It's like, I guess we're going to.
Yep. So, you guys can be critical of our booking instead of us being critical of other people's booking for a change.
But yeah, look forward to that. We don't even know the numbers yet. We got a list down, and that's as much as we have it through. But throughout this week, we'll put a little bit more effort into it. And if we feel like the first part of it is ready for you guys, we might, maybe the next time we come, and we might just have the more detailed stuff, graphics for you and everything. We don't know yet. We're just letting you know our intent, our plan, what's going to be out there, and we hope that you're looking forward to it.
Yeah. And if you're not, you will. After you hear it.
If you're not, you're going to be fucking swimming with the fishes. I know Tony Soprano is kind of a big fan of the podcast, so,
Yeah.
I'm going to say whatever I want. It's called freedom of speech.
Oh, it is?
Yep, sure is.
Well, who told you it was freedom of speech?
Excuse me where you swing your braids, please. Okay. Swing your braids all over. It's got COVID all over it. Don't swing your braids on me. Please don't swing your COVID all over.
Wow. What a guy.
Oh. Hell yeah.
He does.
I'm going to say whatever I want. It's called freedom of speech.
It is, isn't it?
It sure is.
But yeah, so that being said, like, we hope you're looking forward to that. And yeah, so why don't you take us into a little main wrestling topic that we're going to be talking about here?
Well, our main topic today we're going to be talking about is what is a wrestling star anymore? There's kind of a big divide amongst the wrestling community. Most of the argument around stars today is really AEW fans versus WWE fans, even if folks don't say it out loud. We got a couple of little bullet points here for each definition that we'll be able to walk you through here. We got the AEW leaning definition, which we'll talk about, and TJ and I'll back and forth, and then we'll go into the WWE definition. The AEW leaning one is more in-ring ability comes first. Match quality defines your value. Style is greater than your look or promo. Being over with the hardcore fans is enough. And star power is kind of seen as an outdated, antiquated point of view, which I don't necessarily agree with. But what do you think about all these different things here, TJ? I think that's a fairly accurate AEW description there.
Well, I feel like everybody on AEW television's over for the most part, They don't really have a lot of stars, though, in my opinion, but that's something that we'll go over in the end. They do have some there, but they've struggled to kind of find someone that can generate an increased interest and that you can build the brand off of. But we'll get to that at the end. I feel like that nails the AEW thing, right? You got to be having the good matches. They got to be fast paced. You got to be able to have them like 30 minutes. You got to bleeding helps a lot. But yeah, basically the mix between the New Japan Pro Wrestling and the wrestling style that they have, the fast paced, strong style that they do over here. The better you are at that, the more their fans are going to like you. And I like seeing a great match. So do you.
Yeah.
Everybody over there is having the same match though, so it's kind of hard to stick out. Who's having the best version of that match.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, why don't you tell us about what the WWE leading definitions would be?
So, look matters a lot, like Jade Cargill, even though she's kind of trash in a lot of other aspects, that's pretty much the whole reason why she's a wrestler. Her look, I wouldn't say her charisma as much. She does have it, but it's not in her talking. Mm-hmm. It's her presence, which is another thing we're going to go over. Promos are a big deal. You got to be able to cut those, which not to say that you don't in AEW, but even if you don't you don't even have to speak English to be a quote unquote star in AEW to a lot of their fans. But true. Yeah, moments create the stars, and that's generally like when you remember a lot of big things back in the day, some of the promos were the biggest things you remember. In-ring skill does matter in WWE, but it's not everything. It really making yourself stand out and getting, it's tough to get organically over with the crowd. WWE, their version of what a star is somewhat has changed over the years, but it's always the same shit. You got to have the look. The in-ring style does matter to a certain extent, but lesser than AEW. And you just got to have the charisma. You got to have that it factor. Without that, you're not going to get... And the booking, I feel like in WWE matters more. In AEW, as long as you're booked to have a good match, that can kind of carry you. Whereas in WWE, if you don't have the good story or push behind you, it's tough to get over these days. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean that's a really accurate description. And I don't know. I know that we have a part that we want to move on to here, but
you could
actually
do
we'll do that, and then I'll ask the question. Why it never gets resolved is both sides use the word star, but they mean completely different things on both programs, so the debate kind of goes in circles. So my question to you here, TJ, is, and I think I know the answer to this one. It's probably the same answer for me. Which one of these definitions do you tend to gravitate towards more in terms of what you think would be a star? The AEW or WWE definition?
A lot of things are subjective in opinion to people, but, a star would be somebody that I guess, would generate money. They would be more popular. They would be broken in with the mainstream to some extent. No, it's tough. Most wrestlers aren't breaking into the mainstream these days, but when you think about a star, the most popular pro wrestler today is The Rock, right? Out of anybody that's known as a pro wrestler, it would be him, correct? I mean, think about it on Instagram. He's got more followers. I mean, it's just, if you want to talk about in-ring, it would be Roman Reigns. There's somebody that's on the current roster. But did any of those guys get over in WWE on match quality?
I don't know.
I don't think they did. I think they got over on moments and promos. And obviously you can't have a bad match. But The Rock looked like $1 million. He dressed like $1 million. He sounded like $1 million. And he was good in the ring, but the catchphrases and the moves that kind of match the catchphrases in the opponents, the right opponent is, you can't build yourself. Obviously, you got to have the
right. That was one of the things that, for everybody likes to poo-poo on Hogan for that doesn't work for me, brother. But he was always did a good job of, making his opponents appear like there was a chance that they could beat him or at least be competitive with him in the match. Because if you can't believe that the guy can beat you in the match, why are you going to even watch? So, I mean,
somebody like Ric Flair could make somebody look like $1 million, and they don't even necessarily have to have a good match. He just needs to make it look like, oh shit, he's beating Ric Flair up. But
exactly.
Let's go over this from another point of view, and I hit you with this, and we'll go over the list. You have to have a good look. That's non-debatable, right?
Definitely.
That makes a star.
100%.
Charisma. I don't think that's a debate either.
No. We can kind of combine charisma and presence because they're both similar.
Sure, but we're having a discussion about it. So I mean, I think you got to have that it factor. That really helps, right? In some way, shape, or form. Promo ability.
Unless they pair you with a really good manager, look at Brock. Brock obviously can cut a promo, but the bulk of his career, Heyman did the promos for him, and he just stood there with,
But Brock had that it factor.
He had the look, the presence, the charisma. He had all the intangibles,
and he had the in-ring factor, but his in-ring is different than the in-ring factor that would get you over in AEW, right?
He would go to AEW with his style and it wouldn't be over at all probably. But he would just maul everybody because who in that company can actually have a believable competitive match with Brock Lesnar? You can say there's plenty of guys in WWE, but let's fantasy book this real quick before we move on. who in AEW would you book against Brock Lesnar and have them, look like
Big
that they
Bill,
can have a competitive match? Really?
Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, Jake Hager when he
Bobby.
was there,
Bobby for sure.
Lance Archer,
Joe.
That's happened before.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan had a great fucking multiple matches with Brock. I only really remember one, so maybe they only have one, but they had that one good match that one time. He liked wrestling Bryan apparently, but Kenny would have a good match with him. I have no fucking doubt about that at all.
Yeah.
And Brock would probably like Kenny, I think, because the whole Japan tie, and he's willing to probably take Brock's moves, like pretty devastating.
Yeah.
I guess no, because Dean Ambrose. Remember Brock and Dean at WrestleMania, and like Brock wasn't motivated, and they had that terrible match.
Is that the one where he threw the belt at fucking McMahon? Or
that? I'm pretty sure that was it.
But, that was a terrible match.
Yeah, but anyways, we're going off track a little bit. So the look, charisma, the promo, the wrestling ability. The wrestling ability is definitely important, but I feel like there's different. The wrestling ability, the way that you wrestle is different that gets you over in both companies. So that's somewhat subjective, right?
Yeah, that's definitely subjective.
Yeah, because I mean, the way Hogan got over in ring is not in any way, shape, or form what would get over in AEW today.
I mean, I don't think Hogan would be able to get over in AEW just because of their audience.
But here's the big thing that I think we can all agree on, and I don't mean to say this could be an asshole because this is going to be super negative, but what stars does AEW have? Like, I mean, this is just my opinion. You guys can tell me to go fuck myself, but I don't feel like they've built, like, if you got on the street and you put Adam Page on the street, who's going to know who he is? Is it 1 out of 10? No. It's 1 out of 100. Right?
Yeah, literally.
If you take Otis and put him on the street, it's 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's sad, but it's true. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And I know WWE has been around longer, and they have the power and the machine behind them, but I don't know. I just think that the AEW, for multiple reasons, I feel like booking is one thing that we left out. We didn't put that down that enough. Booking is what makes stars.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I feel like that's probably the one thing that AEW might kind of be lacking to have built them.
And you can be a star and be booked poorly. I'm going to reference Bret Hart again since we've talked about him so much this episode. And Bret Hart in WCW. Dude was a huge star, fresh off of a Montreal Screwjob, one of the biggest wrestling stars in the world. And they booked him like complete shit. Yeah. And Bischoff loves to deflect and say that Bret Hart wasn't into it. And it's like, well, how are you supposed to be into it when you're being booked so poorly? Like, it starts at the top with the booking and goes down from there. Like, he did the best that he could with the garbage booking he was presented, I feel.
I agree with you. And, yeah. So I feel like we kind of went over what we agree makes a star, but I feel like in the end, it's a mix of everything. And it depends on which company you're in, that maybe one might matter more than the other. But I think we can go and like leave it on this, and the booking is probably the biggest thing that makes a star.
It's true.
All right. Well, we can jump off on that topic then. And why don't you take us on this wild ride of a topic that we have next that I know that you've been looking forward to talking about all week. Last week.
Well, let's see here. We got our super interesting topic here, and another Canadian treasure wrestler. Fans, were they disappointed by the Jericho no-show for Raw?
Yeah.
What's going on? It's kind of self-explanatory, Well, not really. I feel like more of the internet wrestling media kind of hinted at this more, that, you know, WWE has been hinting at Jericho in insofar as like people referencing things that, you know, moves or saying catchphrases or different things of that nature. I mean, people did end up bitching that he didn't show up. People are just a bunch of crybabies, and I had put in here, I bet people cry regardless of what ends up happening, and they did, and I was right. Um, what do you think? Yeah, should people be disappointed that he wasn't on Raw, or should they just,
I don't know. They feel like they've been lied to. Apparently, apparently they sold like a lot more tickets towards the end because like Adam Pearce did some tweet or something about like breaking the walls down. You know, whether that's true or not, and that was a correlation, you know, I'm sure it was to some extent, but it, you know, it wasn't fucking advertised. You don't have anything to be sorry about except you got fucking played. Right?
Exactly. You know, the internet wrestling news sources got everybody worked up, and all the references from WWE themselves got people worked up. I think we've talked about this before on the show. I think it's more they're getting everybody lubed up for him to show up at the Rumble, we had talked about before. And, you know, they're doing the slow burn. You know, they're keep hinting at it, create that demand and fervor. And then when he does finally appear, the roof is going to blow off of the building.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a pretty big return. And it's funny, you know, all those people that have been talking shit on him in AEW are all of a sudden going to love him over in WWE. Who knows what? I guess he's probably going to just do the Ayatollah of Rock and Roll or one of his old gimmicks, and then
I had read that he was going to come in this again. This is all internet wrestling news, so take that for what it's worth. But I had read that they intend on bringing him back with a refreshed gimmick, and he's going to be using his Judas theme music. He's not going to be using the old Chris Jericho theme. I don't know how I feel about that. I personally, you know, for nostalgia reasons, would love to see him return with the Break the Walls Down theme, but
that would be cool.
I do understand. Yeah, I think it really would. But I do understand the necessity for character revision, and, you know, would people pop for Judas? Probably. Would they pop for Judas as hard as they'd pop for Break Down the Walls? Probably not.
No. Yeah, I don't think it's really that big a deal. You know, if you got worked, that's cool. That's what wrestling's all about. And you're fucking Mark. Yeah. Enjoy it, man. That's what it's all about.
You should feel good when you get swerved in wrestling. Unless the swerve is like so finger poke of doom bad, like then you can be mad. But, you know, other than that, when you get worked watching wrestling, that's a good thing. That's not, you know, like TJ said, that's not something to be mad about. Wrestling is literally supposed to work you.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Me and Dave were you know, we thought it was about 50-50, but we don't think it's 50-50 that he's going to end up at WWE. Like, we're both pretty sure that's going to happen.
I'm like 99.9. Yeah.
It's up there, but overall, we'll see what happens. He'll be at that Rumble.
Have you seen him lately?
He's in great shape.
His podcast at all? He looks incredible.
Yeah, he's in great shape. He's definitely going to show up at the Rumble. Unless Tony.
Shout out to Chris, man. You know, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. You know,
come on the podcast, man. Yeah, we'd love to ask you some questions.
Yeah, you know, the invitation's always open, brother.
Yeah. I got a couple real hard hitters that I'm sure he'd love. But anyways, we appreciate you, Chris, and we appreciate you guys for listening. And another thing that we appreciate is me and Dave are going to make some predictions, some bold predictions. Based around wrestling in 2026. So, we're going to talk about what we think is just, you know, a prediction for this year. What could happen? Maybe a big thing, maybe small. It doesn't matter. It's our prediction. I picked one. Dave picked one. And he's going to tell you what his is now.
Yep. And first, before we get into this, I want to shout out to our homie Pog. I had told him what my bold prediction of the year was, and bro, he was super into it. And the Hardys are his favorite team. Spoiler alert: the Hardys are in my.
He's probably our number one listener,
prediction.
Isn't he?
I would say, you know, if he's not our number one listener, it's like a 1A 1B situation. It's pretty close. So you know, we appreciate the shit out of you. I know that you listen to each episode. So thank you for that. And we appreciate everybody that listens. But
Except Brandon, because he's not listening at all.
you know, we do reference him on here, and he never knows what we're talking about when we bring up the reference to him. Ryan listens as well. You know, shout out. But anyway, we're getting off topic here. My bold prediction for 2026 is, drumroll please, the Hardys versus the Usos at WrestleMania.
They're gonna retire him.
I don't know if they're gonna retire him, but I think this is the Hardys are gonna put the Usos over, and it's just something that has been building for a long time. You know, it's the Usos always talk about how they're the greatest tag team, and the Hardys are definitely one of the greatest tag teams of all time. This is a match that makes sense, especially with the Usos having the belts right now. And the Hardys don't have a lot of in-ring time left. I think this would be a good, maybe 1 or 2 more WrestleManias that they got in them if they can, you know, get booked before they kind of are going to be hanging up. Matt's 51, Jeff's 48. These guys aren't getting any younger. But yeah, that's my prediction for the year.
That's a pretty good prediction. I would love to see that match. The Hardys retired the Dudleys in an awesome match late last year, and me and Dave were glued to the camera, or not the camera. What the fuck is wrong with me? The screen for that one, and yeah, I think that's a pretty solid prediction. If I were to give that like a percentage,
like 75,
68.2.
Okay,
but yeah, I'm going to give you my prediction too.
Let's hear it. Lay it on me.
Here's where they're going to hate this thing. If you're still listening, a couple people are just going to be like, fuck these guys.
They're about to X out of the browser or close their smartphone.
So AEW Collision either moves nights, Thursday preferably, most likely, or it gets canceled. So they're doing pretty similar viewership that Rampage did. Now, the only thing that's different here is that there's not another third show that's doing better ratings to where they could plop it off. So I think they have it in their contract that they're going to have the 2 shows. It's just why wouldn't, I mean, that'd be a tough one to change, but I did leave it in there so I could have a double thing there. What do you think? It's most likely going to move nights or get canceled. I mean, what other choice? This show sucks.
I would think it's going to probably move nights before they cancel it, just to try to see if the move revitalizes the show. But Thursday is probably the most likely candidate where it lands. But with TNA debuting on AMC on Thursdays 2 days from now, that's gonna be a hard mountain to climb. And I know for me personally, I definitely intend on checking out TNA for this first little bit of time to kind of see what they do here. I think that they fuck is going on in my background out there.
I don't hear anything. You're good.
Well, good. I made me lose my train of thought though, so that's not great. But TNA is going to be on Thursday, and I forgot what I was saying.
So basically, we were saying that AEW is going to switch nights or be canceled. So they're going to have to compete with TNA if they do move to Thursdays. So you're saying it might need to be another night, but it's not going to be Tuesday because that's NXT, and NXT. I think.
I mean, it's going to be Thursday. It just is what it is.
It's not going to be Wednesday.
That's going to eat into their numbers because TNA is going to be drawing interest because of the new network and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. I'm sure you probably did. I don't know if all of our fans had heard this or not, but AJ Styles is going to be on that first episode. The house that AJ built. I mean, literally, they built that company off of his back. Jeff Jarrett will tell you it to your face. Without AJ Styles, TNA would not have been nearly as strong during the strong periods. And he is the definition of TNA. Not anymore, but I mean, to this day, when people think of TNA wrestling, they think of AJ Styles, and AJ Styles has been in WWE at this point longer than he was in TNA.
it's kind of funny because there was a point where he was going to re-sign with TNA, and this was kind of at their hottest point, and he decided not to, and he went over to New Japan, and then after that he went over to
You know why he
WWE.
didn't re-sign with TNA, right?
Well, why was that?
They asked him to take a
That's right,
50% pay cut.
Yeah.
And he's like, you guys literally built this company off my back, and you're asking me of all people to take a 50% pay cut. So he explored his options as anybody should. Know
And it
your
worked out.
value. It sure did.
He's probably going to be retiring this year. But anyways, back to the main topic. So Rampage got canceled when it was around these kind of viewers, 200, 300 viewership, and that's what AEW has been getting. And unless they're getting a significant amount more on streaming, it's just not great. They're spending money on this product, and it's just underperforming, most likely. Unless they're okay with this, then we don't fucking know what we're talking about. But like I said, I left it a double-edged sword. Give me a percentage.
I'm saying a 50-50 on this.
What about the Knights thing? What do you think about that? Give that a percentage.
That is probably like a 70-30.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Okay. I think that's the more often, something's got to change, but I think that's the more likely thing there. Overall, I really appreciate that. You had a great pick. I enjoy that. Hopefully that match happens.
I really do. And I know Tim, when you're listening to this right now, you're saying, yeah, baby, I want that match to happen too. So
you know what
we're hoping for it.
You know what I have to say to Tim?
What's that?
Hold on, let me pull this up. I think he could really appreciate this.
I can't find pussy anywhere.
Oh wow, yeah, he would appreciate that.
Yeah.
And
screw all this wrestling crap. I just want to get a little slice of my gab.
Hey, she was a hooah.
Yeah, I heard that. Wow.
Fuck you, you fucking hooah.
Oh wow, I'm sure you've noticed this, but this question's more for our fans. But feel free to answer it as well. You ever notice that they say it with no R? It's hooah.
Yeah.
There's no.
Why do you always talk like a hooah?
And she's even worse. She's a hooah. My mother's a fucking hooah.
Oh shit.
Okay, Polly. I mean, I'm not gonna beat your head down about argue with you about it if you say so. But yeah. So
calling in from heaven, Thanks, Polly.
Yeah, with them wings on his head. But we're gonna switch to the next topic here, and that's gonna be why do we think these wrestlers are getting hurt so often these days? It's happening way more than it used to, right? Like, I don't have a statistical chart in front of me, but I mean, it seems like it's happening a lot, right?
It definitely feels more often than when we were young. Outside of like ECW stuff, because I mean those dudes were getting pretty fucked up, but also they were working.
That's similar to what they're doing in AEW though right now, the ECW stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at the ECW guys now, most of them are not doing so well physically.
Nope. Some of them are dead.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Raven stuff lately, and man, I
he looks
love
rough.
Raven. He was one of my guys, man. When he was in ECW, the guy was awesome. His promo skills, insane. His even in WCW, I really liked him there too, even though he wasn't always used the best there. But he's been out there a lot. His documentary, I've seen parts of it. I haven't seen the whole thing yet. It looks really good. But the point of me bringing up Raven is, he's got the tremors. He's starting to have the Parkinson's and stuff like that.
That sucks.
And a lot of these guys have that. Dean Malenko, he's got Parkinson's. Eating all these chair shots to the head for these guys. As awesome as it was to see,
they're paying a price.
It is better that they're no longer doing that, and these guys are paying the price. And AEW guys need to.
Oh, they're going to pay it too.
They need to look to these guys to know what some of their futures are going to look like. And obviously, these guys are more well off financially than the ECW fellas. But I mean, quality of life matters. When you get. Nobody comes out of wrestling unscathed. Everybody's got some degree of aches and pains. But I deliver medical equipment and I see elderly people every day, and they're just all jacked up from different things, and they weren't eating chairs to the head or crazy moves that you really should be doing. They just lived a regular person life, and they're all messed up. So just we don't want to see anybody having a poor quality of life, at any point in their life, but especially once you're older.
Well, Osprey's already falling apart. Kenny's already falling apart.
He's gonna be like how Kenny Omega is within a couple of years, and it's I feel like the last really good Kenny run was Kenny Belt Collector, and he kind of hasn't been the same since then.
Brian just retired for like the second or third time, and I feel like they're both in the same or worse shape than he is. Not with the neck or the concussions, but their overall body shape, and the only reason is because he went to WWE and got a little break. But, it's just rough,
But also, these people are working matches like it's a goddamn Nintendo 64 THQ wrestling game and not an actual match. I'm surprised these motherfuckers aren't just spamming their taunts up so that they can do their finishing move.
Yeah, and I agree with you. A lot of people say that the video game wrestling style that a lot of these guys do these days. But one of the things I wanted to bring up, which is kind of sad, but I think it's the drugs that these guys are using these days, recreational and their steroids that they're using. The guys back in the day were using a lot more steroids to probably heal faster, and they're recreational drugs. So like they were working way more days back in the day. So like they had to abuse these drugs to make it. They were in terrible pain.
They were on the road like over 300 days a year.
Yeah, but they'll do like Darby Allin would do them one night to his body what would be like 5 months to like one of the guys back in the day.
Yeah, I mean that's fairly accurate.
Speaking
of that,
Ospreay will do the same, but not as much. He'll do like what Hulk Hogan did to his body in like a week. Will Ospreay does in like a month, maybe even less.
Hogan.
Yeah, I miss you, buddy. So miss you too, Ryan Brewer. Point up in the sky with me, Dave. Look up there. We'll see you guys later.
Yep, nobody gets out alive, so we'll be catching up with them on the backside at some point.
Yeah.
Hopefully a very long time from now, unless we have a poor quality of life, in which case,
hey, all I got to do is make it.
When we get to it.
All I got to do is make it till Ghost in the Shell type shit, and then I will be the first guy that they toss in that. Oh yeah, get me in there. Yeah. Get me in there.
I used to joke about, I want to be cryogenically frozen until the technology advances that they could build me a suitable Mega Man body.
No kidding. Just stay around forever.
Yeah,
that'd be badass.
It sure would. Well, maybe it wouldn't, because think of how shitty everything has become in our lifetime. Imagine you're around forever.
I don't know. I want to see it. I want to see how shitty it gets.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
I'm a nostalgic guy.
That's true. That's true. Well, why don't we tell everybody what our next topic is? Would you like to move on to it, or do you want me to?
I got it. So,
hell yeah.
We were going to be talking about a little bit more wrestling here. We're going to be done with some of the wrestling talk for the most part after a couple more of these. But so we just got a little compiled list here of wrestlers that WWE from AEW has seemed to have interest in. Who knows if this is contract tampering, what they got going on. But, the most recent one that we saw them have interest in, or maybe second most recent, is Gabe Kidd. I'm not the biggest fan of Gabe Kidd, but he's used kind of weird in AEW. He just kind of shows up, leaves, goes back to NJPW, and rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's I don't know how much that I would want to see him in WWE. There are other people on this list that I would like to see there more over him. And speaking of people on that list, Hobbs.
Yeah.
It would make sense that they would be interested in him. The guy looks incredible. His in-ring is decent for a big guy. It's not great, but WWE with the machine behind him, in the training center, I think they would have him, TV ready real fast.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hobbs has been like used in the same position almost his whole run in AEW. He hasn't really been elevated. Remember the Book of Hobbs? Like, what was that, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like there was a time that they were kind of like he was taken off a bit, and then he got hurt, and then when he came
Yeah.
back, they didn't push him the same.
yeah, well, at one point he had the TNT title. Right now he's got the trios and he hangs around with Joe, but I like Hobbs a lot. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I feel like he would do better in WWE because they use big guys better there. But
Oh yeah.
the next one, which I feel like they would use better, and she would learn a style that was more suitable for her, would be Anna Jay. I feel like she fits right in with the NXT chicks, and once she got good enough, they could bump her up with WWE, and she would do well there.
Throw her on SmackDown after NXT for a while. I feel like she would do well. And then the next person on our list, but there is a caveat we'll bring up is Britt Baker. There are conflicting reports. Obviously, we know WWE has been interested in her for a very long time. There are reports that, her contract was up in 2026. And then there are other people that are saying that her contract may have been extended to 2027 due to injury. We haven't seen her on TV in like a year and a half. So I don't know what they're doing here. Tony's content to pay her to sit at home, I guess. But she would do well in the WWE for sure.
She's perfect over there. She's got that built-in character.
Yeah, I mean she's fairly refined compared to some of the girls. I mean she wouldn't need as much work as some people.
She could go right to the main roster.
Yeah.
If they got Jade Cargill there, she could 100% go to the main roster.
Oh, I mean she head and shoulders way better than Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill just looks like an action figure.
Britt she's in pretty good shape too. She doesn't look bad. You know, one of the reasons why she's been gone so long is because she was having like seizures and shit.
Right, I do remember hearing about that.
Well, she's doing better now, which I'm happy for. I'd even like to see her pop up in AEW if that's what happens. I just, you want to see she's a talented girl and she's kind of had a bad rap. And whether that's true or not, what they say about her with the starting shit in the back, I don't know. But I always like second chances. I really love a comeback. Big fan of those. So I'd love to see her come back wherever she shows up. And kind of speaking of a comeback, because we haven't seen these guys since they lost their tag team titles to the Hurt Syndicate. This is Private Party. They had a little run with the AEW tag titles after years of kind of showing their talent but not doing too much in AEW, floundering in the lower mid card. And they're super talented guys. They're funny as hell. They're really great in the ring, and they would instantly be a very credible competitive tag team in any division on both shows with WWE, and that'd be badass.
Usually I shed on these guys, but I think they would have a good match with Fraxium.
I think Fraxium are capable of having good matches with anybody.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just not crazy about their characters or the names, but those dudes can go.
Yeah, they're super talented. If you want people to put on a great match, I think are the guys that put on the modern style pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall that's it. I think there's a realistic chance. I think the most realistic person that we're going to see the soonest is Private Party. I feel like their contracts are up. I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like it makes sense for theirs to be up closer to anybody else's. And I feel like they've been too quiet,
Yeah. Yeah, they've been featuring Anna Jay fairly regularly still, which leads me to believe that it's not quite time for her yet.
Oh man, I am just all kinds of a mess today. I keep hitting the mic, I'm whacking my desk, stuff's not working, technical issues, but we're chugging through. So yeah, that's
we thought we'd be done by now, but there was all these things and caveats. So, but we're hanging in there.
Good thing we started early.
You guys, yeah. If we started when we usually start, we'd be way behind right now. So we're smart. We got an early start, and we got a new segment that we're going to transition into today. Here, this is a really cool one, and this was TJ's baby. And he came up with this idea. All the credit in the world to TJ. So I'm going to let him introduce this one and kind of lead us down the path, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, my brain's always moving. I'll be sitting there watching wrestling, and when I'm watching wrestling, the ideas come for some reason. It's a weird time for that to happen. But anyways, so this is the OverMark video store. We'll have a little graphic, maybe. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. We already actually have it made.
We made up graphics, yeah. I think, yeah.
Yeah. So let's open up the store. We're going to pull one off the shelf in the OverMark video store. And this is a fucking awesome one. This is a classic. Before I break into this, I want to tell a little story, and then we'll jump into what this is. So my history with this movie is pretty... I've seen this movie hundreds of times. I'm not exaggerating. When people tell you that they have seen a movie hundreds of times, you're usually like, oh, this is bullshit. I used to visit my dad every summer. You remember how I told you that? And back in the day, You remember how they could put the chip in the dish or DirecTV boxes, and it would hack it, and you could get everything, even like the pornos, the pay-per-views, every single channel. That was the summer that Jay and Silent Bob was on DirecTV's pay-per-view lineup for their movies. So like, I could watch it all day for free. And I did that a lot that summer. And I own the movie. I have it down there. My buddies, it's a fucking classic. You know, like, how many times did you hear people say that Snoogan shit? Or like, I know that's the one thing we have on there, but what are some of the other sayings? Snoochie Boochies, Jay's,
fucking, I like the little beginning song. Fuck, motherfuck. Fuck.
Well,
Me and my mom used to sing that to each other when that came out. Her and my nana were staying with me, so we watched the shit out of that movie.
So it's funny, like they go to movies. Well, they find out that they're getting a movie made about the comic book that they're the main characters of. So then they go visit the one guy from Chasing Amy, Ben Affleck, and then he kind of tells them about the whole thing. Then they go to movies. And then they end up meeting Jessie or whatever, the chick. And then they end up getting like used in their deal to go be a distraction by letting the animals loose by the place that's next door to the diamond place. So then they end up blowing their van up, and then they think they're dead. Justice was her name. I didn't watch this recently. This all just popped back into my head. And then, they all go through it, everything, and they end up in Hollywood, and he ends up fighting Mark Hamill with like the blunt saber. And they have the pie fucker in the movie, and all Jason Biggs.
Is that guy that fucked the pie?
Yeah, and it's just an amazing movie. It's tons of classic quotes. It's one of my favorite movies, like, for sure. And if you haven't seen this and you like dirty, like, stupid jokes and shit.
Late 90s, early 2000s humor. This is right up your alley. And this is they hit all the tropes.
Yeah, he's sitting there. The van that they're in. It's like he pulls the doobie snacks out, and then he's sitting there talking to Stifler, and he's like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, if you were a sheep, would you fuck a sheep? Oh, well, now that you say it like that, you bet your dirty little ass yo, this motherfucker's not one of us. He said he'd fuck a sheep. And he throws him out.
Him out in the back and is flipping him off. Now who's stupid, you dirty sheep fucker?
The thing is like, they could have just stopped. But the girls kept going.
I like, they get lost, and Silent Bob is trying to like mime out where the shit is, and Jay's trying to figure it out, and he keeps saying all this dumb shit, and Bob freaks out, and he's like, the sign on the back of the car says Critters of Hollywood, you dumb fuck.
That definitely is what he said. It's awesome when Kevin Silent Bob ends up doing his thing. They just released Dogma in 4K, which is an awesome movie that Askew Films. Yeah, and I hope that they do Jay and Silent Bob one day soon. They're about to do another Jay and Silent Bob movie. That's the next thing that they're working on. So I thought this would kind of be a good thing because we could segue into that a little bit. But one of the things sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, that's really cool. I'm looking forward to that a lot. That'd be one of those things that I will definitely take in the theater. I don't go out to the theater very much anymore. I'm not trying to get jokered, but I'll risk it for that one.
I haven't seen Clerks 3 yet, so I still really need to see that.
There's a third one?
Yeah, I know. It came out 2 years ago.
Man, I'm really behind the times. I didn't know.
Yeah, well, I was gonna get it digitally through YouTube and own it. It's $15, but then the Blu-ray's $15. So why don't I just get it fucking physically and you get the digital in it? You know,
Own the actual media,
Yeah.
so when YouTube quits having it, you still got it.
that's something that we need to talk about on here one time: the physical and versus digital media stuff. Because I'm a big asshole about that. But yeah. Anyways, Jay and Silent Bob, awesome fucking movie. Any of the View Askew films, that are done by Kevin Smith, Jay and Silent Bob are usually in, and this is their own premiere film, and it's awesome because at the end of Mallrats, they actually have Jay and Silent Bob walking with the monkey down the highway. So I guess he was kind of working on it about that same time.
Hell yeah. Well, trying to think if there's anything else I'd like to add about our good friends Jay and Silent Bob.
They run into Morgan or Tracy Morgan, and they're in like the union of selling weed.
Yeah.
Pumpkin Escobar 405.
I can't believe you remember that. That's awesome. Like the
I'm telling you, I don't remember much, and if I can remember that, that tells you how much I've seen that movie.
that's like you know the show The Shield that I have told you guys to watch over the years.
Mhm.
You know, the cops, I can remember pretty much all of their call signs. Like the main character, Michael Chiklis, like he'd get on the radio, he's like 6 Paul 11, you know, this is what's happened. And then there was another team that was Julian, and I'm forgetting the woman's name now because it's been so long since I watched the show, man. Shame on me. But 1 Tango 13 was their call sign. I don't know why I remember shit like that, but random stuff. Watch Jay and Silent Bob and watch The Shield. The Shield is on Hulu. Jay and Silent Bob is we probably should have looked at what it was on.
It's not on anything. You have to
Really?
buy it. Yeah, it's not streaming on anything.
Motherfuckers.
That's why it's not listed. It's pretty shitty. Not the way to go. But what you gonna do? It was back in the day. It was one of the earliest things I watched on Netflix, but it's not on there anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'll lead us into the next one here. We got our next segment. Everybody knows and loves. It's been a recurring thing here since we came back. The Channel 3 video game segment.
Yep. Yep.
And for today, myself and TJ are going to talk about our favorite gaming system of all time and kind of why. And I'm going to let TJ open with his because his is a little bit more diverse than what mine is. So we're going to give the floor to TJ, and he's going to tell us all about it.
Well, mine's actually been shown on screen before. When we were doing the playthroughs and we did Chrono Trigger, my 3DS is my favorite console, by the way, but it's the one that I've actually shown it on screen here. Anyways, it's an awesome fucking console. First off, the portable consoles they make, you're not putting a switch in your pocket. This is a portable console, and it clamshells. That way it protects the screen. But it's got an amazing library. My favorite game on it's Fire Emblem Awakening. It's like the ultimate Fire Emblem game, in my opinion. Music, art, gameplay, everything's awesome. But, I mean, how could it get any better than having a console that has a 3D remake of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on it? You know, I mean, those are two of my favorite games ever, and I think Ocarina of Time's like the highest rated game ever, you know?
It might be. I mean, I can't dispute that. I know that it is rated very highly, and man, I really love that game.
So
it's a good one.
So like, I have mine modded. So this somewhat like, I have access to all these games and all this other stupid shit. Dave's going to slowly get into the modded console scene this year in 2026. I can guarantee you. We were already talking about it. We'll talk about the PlayStation stuff later. But yeah, it's awesome. Animal Crossing New Leaf is amazing on it. Super Mario 3D Land is one of the best Mario games ever. It's super challenging. It's awesome. I could just go on and on. There's multiple Mario parties on this thing. It can run any Game Boy game, any Game Boy Advance game, any DS game. It can run PlayStation games on the modded version. I mean, it can do it all, man. And it's got like so many. It can play all the, like, even if you talk about unmodded, it's got Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow on it. It hasn't been released on anything else but that 3DS. You know, it's got the Game Boy Advance games that it can play. You remember the Game Boy had the cartridges that had like Shrek and Pokemon episodes? You can fucking watch Shrek in like 40p if you want. I mean, how can you beat that? I could go on forever about this shit. I mean, it's got, you know, it can play Diddy Kong Racing on it because it can play DS games. I mean, how could it get any better than that? There's way more games than that. I mean, it's got the Pokemon Sun, Moon, X, like all the Pokemon games that you could ever want. It's just an amazing console, and it's awesome, and they're going up in price. So if you want to get a 3DS, I recommend the new 3DS XL, by the way. It's the ultimate version. That'd be the one to get. Hand over $300.
Oof. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you gotta pay to play, as they say.
Yep.
Well, my favorite one is a little bit older, you know, just like me. I went with the Super Nintendo.
Compared to who?
What? Yeah, just people.
You're young compared to the Earth. Let's look at that.
That's true.
We both
That's fair. So, you know, what can be said about the Super Nintendo that hasn't been said already? The catalog is so deep, and I lived so many of these games. Super Mario World, Super Mario All-Stars, great games. For me, Super Mario World is the best 2D Mario game. It's at least my favorite one. There may be other ones that you could say that are better, but I mean, for me, it's Super Mario World and then like Super Mario 3. I know we're just talking about Super Nintendo, but I had to throw that in as an honorable mention.
Super Nintendo right now
because it is on the Super Mario All Stars. So, and little side note out there that some people may not know: the Super Mario Lost Levels that they put on the All Stars is actually the real Super Mario 2. They decided that it was too challenging, and they ended up using that other game. TJ and I have talked about this on here before. Yep. We're not going to go into it. Link to the Past. That is my favorite Zelda game of all time. I realize it's like a 25-hour playthrough, you know, but the replayability is really high. You've got the 3 Donkey Kong countries.
Oh, amazing.
I love those games. Even the third one, which wasn't as popular as the other ones, I really liked. Chrono Trigger, one of the greatest JRPGs of all time. You got Final Fantasy 2 and 3, which really is like 4 and 6 or whatever, but, you know, because of America, it's the American 2 or 3, or 2 and 3. Secret of Mana, Secret of Evermore. NBA Jam is one of the greatest basketball games of all time. And I had to throw this one on here just because a lot of people don't know this game, but a lot of people do. And the ones that know this game, when you bring it up, are like, oh, yeah, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I don't know why, but I love that fucking game. So much fun. Really high replay value.
You brought up A Link to the Past, and A Link to the Past is one of my favorite games ever. Super challenging. Awesome. I mean, fuck. You never played Link to the Past before, and you like top-down action games. That's it. It's no more polished than that.
They kind of, I mean, Link, you know, Zelda in general set the standard for that kind of top-down game, but Link to the Past took that to a whole new level.
So, like, the Super Nintendo Mii is a really interesting console. You know, I'm into the hardware and all that stuff. And this is one of the consoles back then that they would put an extra chip, like processing chip, into the fucking cartridge to make it look better on the Super Nintendo. You know, like Star Fox and a couple other games did that too. But there was just a ton of cool technology. And you could even play the Super Game Boy player on it, which I thought was awesome. You know, you play Pokemon on there. There was like so many cool games for the Super Nintendo. You know, I remember I should have looked this up. I forgot. There was this game. It was a racer, and it had these like one of the guys was like a cheeseburger. It was like it had like some of the weirdest characters in it. But I mean, when you think about like the Super Nintendo, like you said, Zelda, Mario, Donkey Kong, Chrono Trigger, a lot of people, Samus, the Metroid games,
Metroid. How
F-Zero.
did we not? Yeah.
You know, there was that one that has Ness in it. Which one is that? I always
Can't remember the name.
I don't know.
Why is it escaping me right now?
People get mad. We don't remember that, but we're not going to.
Hey, listen, our brains are fried. We're
Yeah.
middle-aged. It's hard to remember all this shit.
Yeah, absolutely. But it people had that second one that they wanted to play for a while, and it wasn't ever translated. But I mean, it's a great console. Super fun. If you don't have the money, I suggest emulating it. If you got a Super Nintendo and you can't buy all the games, buy an EverDrive for it. It has all the games on it. Super awesome. Get an upscaler, or you don't even need an upscaler. Just get like a nice cable that like from like Retrovision or something it's like an HDMI to Super Nintendo plug. Probably about $50, but they're super worth it.
Oh yeah.
If you
I still got my Super Nintendo Classic and Nintendo
Yeah.
Classic and plays. Those are probably going to be the things that I
gotta
mod
those,
first.
yeah. That's awesome. See, I don't have those, so you're gonna have a different experience than I do on your stuff. I'm jealous. That's awesome.
I remember when they came out, I was like literally at the store the morning that the shit came out. Like at the Best Buy's like a mile and a
You
half
had to
from my
be.
house.
They were that wanted.
There were some scalper retards out there like buying like 10 of them and shit
Fuck
like that.
that.
I'm like, yeah, I just was happy to get my one and go home with it and play the
Yeah.
shit out of it.
They're expensive now.
Yeah, it's wild. I still have the box. Like literally, I brought them home. I hooked them up and I shoved the boxes into like, just a Rubbermaid storage deal. And so, I mean, everything is in like nearly mint condition.
That's amazing, and they're your original
Yeah.
ones too. Like that's awesome.
Yeah,
See,
I wanted to make sure to take care of them because, I didn't have my shit from when I was a kid. So, I always regretted not having or
Well,
taking care of
well,
that
they've
stuff.
been
So,
around a while now too. Like a lot of people they're old enough to where you have to rebuy them for a lot of people. So I mean, I forget
Yeah.
when the first one was made, the Super Nintendo one. Actually, the NES Mini would have been the first one, but I forget when that came out. I feel like that was like 2015.
it was November 10th. Oh no, wait, that was in Japan and Australia. It came out on my birthday, 2016. So like
I wasn't too
November
far off.
11th, I literally rolled out and bought that for myself on my birthday.
But that's amazing. You take good care of those, and just those boxes are going to be worth a shit ton of money.
Yep. And I mean, like, I literally, I picked the box up off the shelf at the store, brought it to the counter, checked out, came home, opened the box, took the shit out of it, and put the box away. So
Yeah.
they haven't been touched since then,
Too bad we didn't know to do that when we were kids. Some kids do.
right? Yeah. Not all of them though. Oh, they did do a re-release of the Nintendo Classic in 2018. They rolled out
Still, it's been a while,
another
man.
batch of them.
It's 2026.
Almost 10 years ago it came
Yeah.
out at this point. That's wild.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like the fact that you have like that first batch of them. I'm sure they'll maybe do a re-release of them again one day.
It was
Excuse me.
this is one of those things that the gaming community as a whole was kind of surprised at because Nintendo historically
Yeah, they
doesn't
don't do that
really
shit.
backtrack on stuff that they've put out. They're constantly looking forward. So this was a big step for them for the nostalgia gaming trend. And I mean, these things sold out. I mean, it was such
Yeah.
a big deal that Sony rolled out a PlayStation Classic, which I also
Yep.
have. And Genesis rolled out the Genesis Classic, which I don't have, and I really kicked myself in the ass for not getting.
They're easier to get. They actually they'll still do like waves of them. So the next one we should both pick that up.
We should.
So get this. I told you I went to a retro game store today, right?
Yeah.
$120 for an NES, and the Genesis 3, which was just a little small Genesis. He wanted like $120 for that one as well, and it's like, dude, you can get like, I mean, I know that you're dusting this shit off and you say it's refurbished, but I can get this significantly cheaper online. He everything the guy had was just overpriced, and I want to support you. I bought a PlayStation 5 controller because I got the wireless thing that I'm going to plug into the PS2, so I'm going to have the wireless PlayStation 5 controller as the PS2
That's
controller.
awesome.
Yeah, but anyways, one thing I was going to say earlier, one of the main reasons you need one of those cables, other than obviously making it look better, is the input lag. If you get a shitty one on Amazon, it's going to fucking lag. It's just how it, the CPU inside the thing, whatever the fuck it is, it just doesn't work. You need to get a good one. But do your research and you'll figure that out yourselves. And let's jump into another one here. So we're going to talk about another video game thing here. And I thought this one would just be a cool little one we could gloss over. But have you ever been to any midnight launches, Dave?
Yeah, actually, quite a few of them. This is gonna show my age a little bit here, but I did the Final Fantasy VII midnight release in 1997, and was it 97 or 96? Whatever. The year that it came out, my mom took me, my friend Lance, our other friend Carlton, and his brother Jesse, and we all went up to the mall, and they let us into the mall for the midnight release.
Yep, same here.
Electronics Boutique, if you remember that store. That was where I had done the pre-release for Final Fantasy VII and the pre-release for PS2. So that was really cool. And then from there, it was like Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, and Cataclysm were the big midnight launches for me because, after PS2, I kind of jumped to WoW.
And WoW only.
And,
same
yeah,
here.
pretty much. I have only played WoW for the most part for the last almost 20 years. It's kind of crazy.
Well, WoW kind of killed my interest in other games, and I eventually got it back. But but yeah, so it's funny. We both didn't go to the first WoWs thing. I don't even know if the first WoW had a midnight release, but
I don't think they did. Well, the other reason that we didn't do other WoW pre-releases is after Cataclysm, they started doing the digital releases so that you could just have it straight online. You didn't need that box anymore.
I may have done more than this. I have a terrible memory, but I know for an absolute fact. I was there for Halo 2 and Halo 3. Halo 3 was the biggest launch. Halo 3 was the biggest launch I've been to of any of them. I may have even done
one of the bigger launches of all time, wasn't it?
Marketing wise, yeah. They were really, it was all over the place. I was there for WoW BC as well, Wrath and Cataclysm. See, the funny thing is our mall and our Walmart were connected. And obviously you couldn't go through them at that, that entrance to go through them was closed at that time. But you could still, they did a midnight launch at Walmart and GameStop, Wrath launch.
That's awesome.
300 motherfuckers. Walmart, just me and my buddies. No one else is there. So we're front of the line, grab our shit, get out of there. They're all still waiting. We're not even in the line for game. We're on a different side of the mall, so we get to get out of there without all the traffic. And I did that again for the Cataclysm one as well. They even put a movie on for us for Cata while we waited.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. But that GameStop, I hated GameStop. I hated how uninformed they were back then. It's always been kind of a shitty store.
Well, and they always fuck you.
Yeah. Take your money, you trade it in for nothing.
For the Cata launch, that was the one I bought at Walmart at midnight. The other ones were like the mall, or unfortunately for me, I did have to do GameStop because there weren't a lot of other options for midnight releases after Electronics Boutique closed down.
I just remember.
But anyway, I did. Go ahead.
I was at Diablo 3 at Walmart as well.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I did the Cata release at Walmart, and there was probably like 10 other dudes there.
That's not bad.
And it was funny when I was driving back home. You know how there's like the main like street that you drive on, and then there's like a frontage road that will run along that sometimes for you to get in and out of store parking lots. I'm driving down the frontage road leaving the Walmart, and there's a couple of like mailboxes on the frontage road for some of the businesses. And the first mailbox that I drive past, guess what the street address was on it?
What?
1337.
Oh,
so it
shit.
was like an omen.
That's funny. You're about to go home and fuck shit up. And Cataclysm launch was terrible.
Yeah. It was plagued with a lot of disconnects.
Remember the helicopter
shitty
thing?
Bugs.
Or was that Northern? I don't know. It's always terrible. to be honest.
They've gotten a little better with it for the modern releases. The me and Tim and Ryan did the most recent. What the hell was it? Not Battle for Azeroth. What is the current one called? I can't remember for some reason. Let me open up my Blizzard launcher here real fast because I'm having a blonde moment. And it was The War Within. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. But yeah,
forgettable.
We hit that launch and it was one of the more smooth launches of all time for a Blizzard game. Usually as of late on a launch, they're getting like DDoSed or any of this other shit. It went great. Yeah.
Yeah. Vanilla Classic was a fucking disaster.
Oh, yeah.
That was the worst one ever, I think. It's all the problems it had. But,
Did you get to play any of the beta for the original WoW?
No. Did you?
Yeah. There was a time that warlocks wore plate and they were basically unkillable.
I bet. Rep Paladins were pretty nuts before that last nerf they got too.
Well, yeah, there was a bunch of abilities that they ultimately gave them in like Burning Crusade and Wrath that they pulled from their toolkit prior to release. Yep. And it's like, man, if you guys would have just gave them like one or two more moves, they would have been doing more than just healing at level 60 back then. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
They wanted they came up with that idea for the hybrid tax. I'm sure you remember the developers talking about, if you were a class that could do multiple things, you weren't allowed to excel fully at them. Outside of a warrior, they let you be the best damage class, the best tank, and the best PvP class.
Yeah. Pretty much the best at it, really. When it comes to DPS, like hands down the fucking best. There was no other tanks in general, really. But anybody that does the WoW probably knows all that shit. But let's jump over a little bit about what we've been doing this week. So, I modded my PS2 and kind of finished a lot to do with that over the weekend. And most of the time, it was the easiest console mod I've ever done. You just take the thing and the free McBoot memory card and put it in. And then most of it's just downloading your games and unzipping them and putting them on the hard drive. That's what takes all the fucking time. But I got the hard drive in there. It's pretty badass.
I remember you were working on it this weekend, and you told Brandon and you're like, I think I got it pretty much done. After you were something with putting stuff on the hard drive that took you a while. I remember you talking about this weekend.
I mean, you download these games and they're like a gigabyte to like 6, and the website does it at their speed, which is slow. You just download it, then you still got to unzip it. You got to click all the stuff, drag it over, but it's all worth it and getting it set up right.
Well, speaking of emulators and modded consoles, I kept Castlevania Symphony of the Night kept coming up.
You were showing it to us.
And then I was just like, fuck it, man. I'm going to download a PlayStation emulator because there's no way to play Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Like, that's not on services. Like, it's kind of stupid. But so I ended up downloading this EPSXE, which I'm not necessarily stoked with. I think I'm going to switch over to the emulator that's called Duck Station. My understanding now is it is a modern, better emulator than EPSXE, which was actually just updated last month for the first time in a decade.
Well, maybe they'll keep messing with that one then.
Yeah, I've been having some issues with it. Like gaming on it, just straight up playing it is fine. If you try to stream it on Discord or do anything like any kind of streaming or screen grabbing, for some reason it just locks the game up. And you have to like force stop it with the task manager. So I'm trying to solve that.
You have the NVIDIA app, right?
Yeah.
It might be the screen record stuff on that that's fucking with it.
It could be. Next time that I try it, I'm gonna have to close the NVIDIA app.
Maybe not.
And see.
Worth a try. But I remember you saying you were like, now I know why people play this on fucking console still. Damn it.
Well, yeah, there was some. There was some hiccups and things. It's not quite the same experience as what you would on a console. Like, these emulators do a good job. and I was using my Xbox Pro controller, but it's just, it's not the same. There is just some nuances and just I don't know how to quantify it other than that it doesn't feel as responsive in the controls, and it just some of the shit's a little buggy, but it's still a really cool thing, and I highly recommend checking out EPSXE and DuckStation as well. I downloaded DuckStation. I haven't fucked with it as much. I did fire up Symphony of the Night on it just to kind of see, but I didn't try to do any of the streaming with it or anything yet. It's basically the same kind of setup. Like you have to have a PlayStation BIOS and things of that nature. So yeah, I just used the same BIOS that I was using on EPSXE.
Yeah.
And that instantly worked. But I need to dial it in a little bit more. There's more settings and more things to fuck with on DuckStation because it's a modern emulator as opposed to a 20-year-old one.
Well, the one cool thing about the PlayStation is you have the network adapter. Some of the games are still online, so
right.
You can like go and play them online still. Which I'm sure the emulators they probably have some way that you could do that too. But I don't know. I just thought that would be cool to bring that up. Since we were both messing around with those things, just a little bit different. I don't know the right way to put that. Non-casual gaming, right?
Right. Semi-hardcore, we could call it, like our old guild. Not quite hardcore gaming, not quite casual, somewhere in the middle.
So, well, speaking of hardcore, I think both of us want to talk about. So this is our latest episode of Push or Pass. Basically, is what I'm trying to get at.
We're bringing it back.
Yeah, and we got Jade Cargill on deck here. We haven't really talked about on deck.
Oh. I thought you said
yeah.
something else.
Well, she could be there too, but
I wouldn't throw her off.
What do you think about Jade? Tell us a little bit about.
Well, old Jade. What can we say that we haven't said a million times already? She looks like $1 million. Her physique is incredible. She literally looks like an action figure or a superhero. Her in-ring has just, I feel like, not really improved much. And now that they have her being a heel, she's essentially doing the same heel character that she was doing in AEW, which is fine. But, as far as push or pass, what's it been, 5 years she's been wrestling now?
About that,
I feel like she hasn't really improved. She looks great. No, nothing against her or anything, but I'm gonna respectfully pass. For me, what about you, TJ? What do you think of old Jade?
I'm gonna say whatever I want. It's called freedom of speech.
Oh boy.
So I think she looks probably better than ever. She's definitely in the best shape she's ever been. So it seems like she's definitely putting more work into that. And apparently she's done a lot of training with Brian, and I feel like her best match was her last match that she had in AEW with Chris Statlander. But I mean, beyond that, she doesn't really have any good promos, and I feel like they're more worried about exposing her now in WWE than ever. They're only letting her squash women by the ramp and say, "I'm that bitch."
Yep.
Like that's literally it.
Thanks for reviving your catchphrase from 5 years ago.
And I think there's a world where she could, and I don't know why it's not all clicking, and not everything's for everybody. And I'm hoping that she steps it up. But you got the thing, but for me,
oh yeah.
I'm just gonna have to give it a push for now. And I wish that they would a couple more times.
Oh no.
I wish that they would.
No, yours is like a.
Oh no. I wish that they would.
And mine's like a.
There you go. But I wish that they would. No, I want to pass. But I don't. Okay. I'm sorry. I messed that up. But I want to push her. Yeah. To NXT, where I think that she should have been in the first place, and Sean could have got her hands on her and really developed her into something special. And I think that they really fast tracked her and kind of fucked her over. And I don't think that she learned what she needed to get at AEW. And it's I think that she's now at the point to where it's sink or swim. And It's sank.
They them bypassing her on NXT was probably a mistake. I mean, even Stephanie Vakir went to NXT. Not that she needed it; she just wanted to get better at English.
I mean, Blake Monroe went through it, and she's like way better than Jade could ever hope to be.
Now, how do I phrase this? Did you see some of the pictures that she had posted on Instagram recently?
Who?
Blake Monroe.
No.
Incredible.
What shape?
Yeah, I mean it's it's nice.
I'll
Yeah,
look later and make my own. I'll be the judge of that.
I'll link it to you, what I'm talking about, so you can
Okay.
So you can know.
But yeah, we give 2 thumbs down to Jade Cargill right now, and we're not even hating everything that she's got going on. It's just, we're giving the opinion.
Fair.
We gotta pass on her. And
Yes, we are. And just real quick for argument's sake, I just sent that over. You don't have to describe it or anything. Just look at that first picture and then
what'd you send it on?
right on Instagram.
Oh, okay, on Instagram, huh?
Yeah, because that's where I saw it on. And it, you see this and it's just like, well, okay,
wow.
all right, yeah, right. I don't hate that.
That's cool.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah.
Thank you for that, Blake. We appreciate you. We're gonna go ahead and push for you. Maybe we'll bring you up on a push or pass episode. Who knows?
I haven't been watching any of her NXT shit, but I know what she's done. So I mean, I already kind of know what direction that's going. But we're gonna jump.
She's been equally good in NXT. That's what I could say for you.
We're gonna jump into my little quick. This is gonna be a quick. I'm not gonna dive into this one too much, but so we had over a month of MMA action missing. They're doing the Paramount deal, so they're switching it up, and I'm sure that they got a lot of production things they're trying to figure out. They're trying to get their studios because ESPN had that stuff going. Now they're taking it back over. They did do it themselves when they were with Fox, but we're here. We're going to be at the new deal. We're going to be at Paramount. I think we're going to use. You want to do that video on how to watch and kind of do a sarcastic. You remember we did the thing on how to watch for the first ESPN pay-per-view for UFC or sorry WWE.
Yeah.
You want to do the same thing for UFC?
We probably should. Maybe next episode we'll talk about that for everybody. Let you know
to beat it,
what and where's where.
To beat it out, well, we might have to do a special video, like record another time, because it would, it's going to be like next week. So maybe we'll still have a month. We'll have a week.
The 24th.
We
got.
We'll do it on
11
Monday.
days.
Yeah,
So,
we'll do it on Monday.
yeah, we'll talk about it on the next episode.
But anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know we got Justin Gaethje, one of the most exciting fighters on the planet of all time, versus Paddy Pimblett, who is also very fucking exciting. This is a
good looking card.
This is for the interim lightweight championship. Elio Topuria is out. He's having problems with his wife, and they're having custody battles. So in steps these two guys for this belt. We got Amanda Nunes coming out of retirement, the greatest women's fighter of all time, and she's going to be challenging the current number 2 pound for pound women champion right now in Kayla Harrison. She's dominant. She's only lost once. She kind of looks like she's built out of granite and stone, and she seems unstoppable right now. And there's a whole bunch of other good fights. It's like Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davidson Figueiredo, who's an ex-champ. I actually got it right here to click on, so pull it up. I should have already did that. It's just,
man, we got Derek Lewis versus Baldo Cortez Acosta. That's gonna be good. Black Beast, man, he's always entertaining.
Yeah, it's gonna be there we go.
Slugfest.
Yeah, and then we got Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Funny name, but that's gonna be a great fight. Arnold Allen versus John Silva. That one right there, the John Silva guy with Arnold Allen, that's gonna be like a 100% guaranteed. Natalia Silva versus Rose and Nanjakuwana, whatever the fuck.
Thug Rose.
Yeah, she'll be there.
It's been a while since I've seen her. She's still shaving her head.
Yeah, Michael Johnson versus Alex Hernandez. This is going to be a great card. We're going to be watching it. No pay-per-view price. You're going to be watching this on Paramount. I'm going to be really looking forward to that. I haven't been shutting up about that since the deal's been finalized. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's a pretty good looking card. This is a solid show for their first Paramount show.
Here's a kicker too. Like my buddies are coming in from, the one up in PA and Cumberland, and they're coming to visit.
yeah.
So they're going to be watching the fights with us. It's going to be an awesome weekend. I'm going to have a great time. I'm really looking forward to it.
Man, I miss that about the like 2000s and 2010s fights. Like me and my roommate, we'd get like it'd be like an Anderson Silva card or something like that, and we would make up like a Stromboli and homemade bacon cheese fries and just a whole bunch of shit and just throw down.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Like I'm really looking forward to it. But this card's going to be awesome. I'm going to go into greater depth next week. I'll have some stats that I'll break down for you. Nothing too nerdy. Just I'm gonna hype you up basically. I'm going to do a promo for the fights. And I think you guys are going to enjoy it. But I think another thing you're going to enjoy before we wrap this up here, it's been a fucking long-ass episode. Probably the longest we've done in a very long time, but it's been good. We have plenty of awesome shit to talk about. And this is our why don't you take us into this?
Well, we got another new segment. We've been trying to come up with some new segments to entertain everybody out there, and this is we've kind of ripped this off from every show ever, but the OverMark mailbag. And you can email us at what the hell was our email? I forgot now.
Shit.
Let me look here real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me. I apologize for my goofy bullshit. It's overmarkpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, it is.
And you can submit your questions, suggestions,
insults,
compliments, send us things like sponsorship ideas and things of that nature. But anyway, we got a question here from Tim in New York, and he asks, what is you two guys' favorite match of all time? And boy, that's a really tough question. Thanks for the great question, Tim. We hope that you're staying warm up there in frosty New York this time of year. Make sure you get out there and eat a sandwich from Giovanni's Italian Deli. How you doing for us, since we're not up there to do it? And I'm gonna throw it to TJ. And man, if you have ever seen Giovanni's Italian Deli on Instagram, that guy makes the insanest. Like when I get up to New York, that's one of the first places I'm going.
Well, one of the first places I'm going when we're talking about good wrestling matches, and this is for different reasons for me. I'm not going to bore you guys. I'm going to get down to the nitty and gritty here. It's Rock versus Hogan, WrestleMania 18, and some of the reasons why are awesome build, once in a lifetime match. It actually happened twice, but the atmosphere for WrestleMania was fucking off the charts. The right guy won. The match in ring was awesome. The psychology was top notch. The crowd was a once in a lifetime crowd as well for that match. You couldn't follow it. It wasn't the main event, but it should have been. And it was just overall the atmosphere, everything about it. It was just big fight feeling wrestling. That's as big as it gets.
That was one of the last times that we had like all the flash bulbs going off. Man, I miss that about when we were young, like in the 80s and 90s, man. You'd be watching a sporting event and Michael Jordan going up for a big dunk, and as soon as his feet leave the ground, like you could just see the crowd lighting up with all the flashes from the camera. It's just cool fucking thing. And man, that's a great answer, TJ.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
When I thought about this question, the first match that came to mind for me was Bret Hart and Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. Much like your match, great psychology, great storytelling. They facilitated one of the greatest double turns of all time. And, this match is still talked about today. The visual of Steve Austin getting color while he's in the sharpshooter and pushing up and that blood pouring down his face is iconic. It's art. They literally have turned it into artwork that they sell, T-shirts, all kinds of merchandise. And, much like Rock and Hogan, these are two of the greatest guys of all time.
Super psychological match, very physical, super technical.
You had Ken Shamrock as the special referee and enforcer because they wanted to add something. Yep, and also it added extra aura to the match.
Yeah, Austin didn't quit. He passed out with all the blood, and it was a double turn. It was probably one of the most effective double turns that you've ever seen, because Austin was just super over babyface after that, and that took Brett into his whole heel in the U.S. face in Canada thing that he was doing, which was my favorite Brett work that he's done.
That's this jacket era right there, Bret Hart too. So that was another reason why I wanted to bust out the jacket today, was specifically because of this segment here.
But overall, I think we both have really solid choices. I like yours a lot, Dave.
I like yours too. As soon as because we talk about the show while we're prepping, and when you told me your answer, I was almost like, damn, how did I not think of that one first? But the first thing that came to mind was Hart Austin. So thanks for the great question again there, Tim. And
let us know your guys' favorite match, right, in the comments.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah, we want to hear about it. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and if you think that our choice sucks, let us know about that too. I don't think there's anybody out there that's going to say that either of these choices are bad, but you never know. There are people that were born in the last 20 years that didn't get to see all of the awesome stuff that we did. So maybe they've got something else, probably a John Cena, Randy Orton match or something like that.
Well, we hear that. You know what I think they got?
What's that?
AIDS?
Oh, wow. Well, at least you can live a nice life if you have that now. I guess they have medicines and it makes it go away or something. I don't know, but cool.
Not cool at all. Stay out of here. Don't you come over here with that stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't use the bathroom at my house or anything, but
yeah, and don't you touch any of my silverware. Throw that shit away.
Right? Yeah, I'm not going to put it in the dishwasher after that. I'm going to put it in the trash.
Let's not insult Magic Jackson or Magic Johnson and whoever else it is. But yeah, this was our OverMark mailbag. Thank you, Tim, for being our first question. I don't know if we're going to do this every time, but if we get a question and it pops up, we're going to answer them and send those future ones to what was it again, Dave?
OverMark Podcast at gmail.com.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys. And that being said, that's it. We got this however long this fucking thing was. I think the whole thing total, we started basically 2 hours and 30 minutes from when we sat down, but I think the recording is at least almost 2 hours, but it's been a good one. I've had fun.
Hell yeah. It sure has. A little bit of a pat on the back here for us, Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Thanks, everybody. Oh, shit.
I'm sure it gets complicated when you're taking it up your fag ass.
Wow. Are you sure about that?
Homo tonight.
Wow. I was at a concert recently and I got a little bit of audio from it. I don't know. This kind of ties back into what we were talking about a minute ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if I can play the part that he said after that on the air here, but
yeah, probably not a good idea.
We'll just say it.
He wants to see Bob Saget everywhere. Right?
Yeah. They had fun and he wants to see Bob Saget. Yeah.
He's a fan.
Oh, wow. Well.
Hey, she was a hooah.
That's true.
Welcome to the OverMark Entertainment Podcast. We're going to talk about wrestling. We're going to talk about a little MMA, and we might even talk some gabagool. Screw all this wrestling crap. I just want to get a little slice of my gabagool.
Real quick before we get out of here, speaking of gabagool, Publix this week has the Boar's Head Italian sub as their special sub, that's on sale. Bro, Boar's Head Italian has gabagool on it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Seriously?
So, you roll up in there, you get yourself a Boar's Head Italian, you have them put some of that Boar's Head sub dressing that they have on there, which is like their own version of like an oil and vinegar and like seasoning concoction. It's insane. If you've got a Publix in your state, I know TJ does, but everybody else, get out there and get you an Italian sub this week. I promise you'll love it. They're $8.99, I think, right? Yeah,
they got a buffalo chicken sub.
They do. They actually They have a chicken strip sub, right? And you can have it however you want. Like, you know, they'll chop the chicken up and they'll throw it in. I almost spilled my drink there. They'll throw it into like a bag with buffalo and ranch and shit and shake the shit out of it so it gets all covered real good. And then they put it on the sandwich. And, you know, if you want it toasted, they'll toast it. Publix is the best grocery store deli, I think, in the United States, probably. I haven't been to some of them, but
There's this place called Lowe's Foods that's very, very similar. It's the only place I've been that I think I could toss up here with them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't have that here, but I wish I did.
They're not everywhere.
Yeah, if you got a Publix near you before Thursday, get in there and get you an Italian just to have it.
I might give it a try tomorrow. We'll see, but I know what I am going to.
If it sucks, I'll fucking cash out you $10 to
don't
pay
do
for
that
it.
because they're going to lie to you.
Oh shit!
But,
well, no, not you. Not everybody else. Just you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
But here's one. You guys can cash app us if you want. I'll put my cash app up there if you guys want to send me money. But
don't do that. MJF put his cash app up and people just spam requested money from him.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
It was really funny, actually. It was like a week ago.
That is pretty funny. But let's get on out of here. I appreciate you, Dave. I appreciate the Overmaniacs. I'm gonna get out of here. Dave will sign off for us. Oh shit! Okay. And then we'll see you guys next time. We'll have more stuff to talk about on the next episode, like always. Hope you guys have a good night or day.
Hell yeah, everybody! Thanks for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good night.
You fucking whore.